Welcome back to Take a Sip podcast. I'm Tito.
And I'm Leche.
And this week, well, first of all, if you heard us last week, we ranked we put the MCU movies like the Avengers, Iron Man, and all those movies. We put them in a tier list from movies you want to rewatch over and over to some movies that were just trash or others that could be better. Mm-hmm. This is sort of a continuation from that episode. Now we're going to go more into what to expect from Marvel, like what kind of shows and movies are coming out. So, like we said last week, we can't have these types of conversation without our guest this week.
Hey, I'm back.
He's back. He's better.
Not better, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm back. Just that.
And still tired. So yeah, we have Esvin today. And to start off, Leche, what are you drinking?
I'm just drinking some water for today. Just keeping it, just trying to stay hydrated right now.
Same here, bro. Same here.
What about you, Esvin?
I'm drinking some orange juice from Market Basket, not sponsored.
That's fact right there.
All right. But I mean, to start it off, you guys have watched it. I haven't. I need to get into it. You guys have watched WandaVision. So how has that been? What are you guys thinking? Like, what do you think we should be expecting as viewers and fans of Marvel?
For Marvel's first like TV show, there's just, I think it was a masterpiece. They killed it. There was like a really good show, just in general. Like besides it, like going back to the comics and everything, introducing new characters, just the plot and storyline in general is really good.
I mean, it wasn't their first show, by the way.
I mean, like actually, that's canon to the MCU.
I was gonna say that's kind of tied.
I meant that.
MCU.
I meant that though. Like, yeah, it's actually canon to like. I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like they had shows all they had like Iron Fist and all like that. But I mean, like that's actually canon to the show. Like I think they killed it. Like bringing it back to like the actual MCU and all. Like everything just. They killed it.
All the teasers, everything in between. Yeah, the storytelling was really good. The ending, I mean, that's for you to determine. I guess I think that's how they left it. They kind of left it vague for the audience, which is like a little tidbit, which would lead into, hopefully into Doctor Strange's movie. You know,
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, so. I mean, overall, the characters as well, I think they picked good characters. They even had a little tease bit for the MCU fan base and stuff like that. Little, I hate to say like this little dick tease.
Yeah, they like just teased us for a second that really just led to nowhere. So
yeah, so
oh gosh. But besides, I mean, WandaVision, we just recently. Wasn't it just like yesterday that the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, last Friday just came out.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'm not sure if you watched that, Leche.
I did not, but I feel like I could talk a little bit about it still. That it looks like a promising show. It looks like almost like a continuation of.
Where we ended off.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah, where we ended off in the movie.
No. I was going to say, like, it kind of reminds me of the premise of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It's going to lean into that type of movie. So, like, a lot of espionage, a lot of action, including the Falcon. And it's going to be very grounded. You know, it's not going to be interstellar powers and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's going to be based grounded. On, like, Earth. Yeah. I have watched the first episode, and it gives you that feel like if you're watching like Winter Soldier or the first Captain America movie, it has that feel to it.
Yeah, there's no space magic or anything like that.
And I don't know if you guys want me to spoil anything. I don't know if you guys don't care, or I probably won't spoil too much. I'll probably just tell you what I'm kind of like vague too. So I just like how they're like explaining everybody's story first to lead up to what we all think is gonna happen. You get me?
Okay.
So it's you get to see like Falcon, like Sam Wilson's. You actually get to see his like how he's living life after he came back from like the blip, and we also see Bucky too, what he's doing, and like kind of a little spoiler alert, but he's actually like he's like fucked up mentally. Imagine he's 100 years old. Captain America got to go live his own life, and he's an old man now. So think about that, but like in Bucky's, he's still young, technically young, and he's 106 years old.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he's like going through therapy and he's talking through shit, like through the therapist and all, and like he's like lying to her, and like she knows like he's lying and all that. He'd be having nightmares of people he killed when he was the Winter Soldier. So like like he's like going through hell like mentally and shit. So I feel like
character development.
And something that you guys might have forgotten, before the blip, he was actually in Wakanda.
Right.
So he says it there that when he was in Wakanda, he felt at peace. Like he felt comfortable being there. Like he liked being in Wakanda. You get me?
Yeah, because he was left alone. He was just working. He wasn't have fighting. His metal arm to remind him of all that.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's like he wasn't fighting. He was at peace. And after the blip, when he came back, I guess the U.S. pardoned him from all the crimes he did. So he's in the U.S. living now, but he really doesn't have anybody. No one's really there helping him out and all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy because you see like his best friend at the time is one of his neighbors. That's like an annoying like old viejito, the Asian dude, old viejito and all, like a little old dude and all. So it's kind of funny like to see that interaction too with Bucky. And it's just it's all honestly a very solid first episode. It was really good. Gives you that like
promising first episode.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear.
No, and besides that, I mean, I don't know if you've watched the trailer. I mean, it does seem like it's going to be a struggle for both Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Besides, like their internal battles, like Bucky's going to have. Also, like it talks a lot about like, are they going to be like strong enough or able to do the Captain Justice on holding up the Captain America mantle after he's gone, being worthy of holding the shield.
Yeah. It's funny because in the first episode they explain a lot about that. I don't know if you guys would want me to tell you some like how like a quick little review of what happens.
It's pretty new. It's pretty new, so we don't know where our listeners are. So let's not go so into that. I mean, at this point, we could really just do assumptions of what might be happening further down the line. But let's give it a little time before we revisit the subjects and go into these episodes.
Yeah.
But besides WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, I mean, the next thing coming up to my knowledge is the Black Widow movie.
Yes, actually, I follow a lot of like pages on Instagram for like Marvel and all. So I just saw a thing where it just said that there was a big announcement like a few days ago that I think they're gonna announce Black Widow on Disney Plus, so we'll be able to watch it on Disney Plus instead of like movie theaters.
It's funny you mentioned that because I literally before we started recording, I saw that it was the release date for theaters is going to be June 9th. And then the same thing that they did with Mulan for like the premium Disney Plus thing or whatever, they're also going to do that for Black Widow.
Yeah, I think it would make more sense to release on Disney Plus at this point than on.
Yeah, I mean, they already have so many like different platforms to release movies on. Might as well.
Well, I mean, it just depends on the people. You get me? Because currently, as of right now, like AMC theaters just recently reopened here in Mass. But like obviously limitations on seatings and how many per theater.
Not only that, people feel uncomfortable to going to movie theaters.
Yeah, that's
exactly. So it's pretty much just giving people the two options, like the ones that need like a moment to get out of the house and want to go to a movie theater, they could watch it either there, or the ones who still want to be safe and cautious, stay at home and watch it with Disney Plus. But this also might be the last time unless they do like future flashbacks and future Marvel movies, that we do get to see pretty much Black Widow. Because
maybe not.
Don't say that, because you never know what could happen.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Widow.
That's what I'm saying. It might be the last, unless they do future like backflash, like
she never died or something that. You never know.
And well, if she never died, they never would have gotten the Soul Stone.
To be honest, after seeing WandaVision, I would not put it behind my head that anyone could come back to life.
Yeah,
exactly.
At this point, anyone could come back to life.
Because if
Tony Stark's coming back.
That's Esvin's hope.
I think that's everyone's hope, bro.
We can still see so much from Iron Man. There's still so much we could see.
There's so much.
Sad.
It's okay though.
We're seeing like Pepper Potts become Iron.
If they do bring him back anytime soon, it would not do him justice. That ending.
I feel like they're gonna try to do the Iron Lad and another younger Iron. Yeah, they're gonna try
Ironheart most likely.
Or Ironheart too, both of them. Because if you think about it, in Endgame, you remember how they showed that kid from Iron Man 2? Yeah. They wouldn't just show that for no reason. You get me? They're just not gonna do that. Like,
there was a tease, maybe a little bit, like he's there still in the story, like he's still canon 100%. Like,
and he's at a perfect age, like. For like the Young Avengers. I mean, I feel like that's what they're trying to set up right now. Is eventually do a Young Avengers movie. Because look, they technically introduced Speed and Wiccan in WandaVision. Even though they're not real, I feel like in Multiverse and Madness, we're gonna find out that they're actually real, and that we're gonna see them at more of a teenager age. Like for like, we're also gonna see who else? Hawkeye's daughter. She's becoming
Bishop.
Kate Bishop. Also, Ant-Man's daughter.
Right.
And they're introducing a lot.
And I feel like the person who's gonna be like the new head for that is probably gonna be Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's gonna be the new head for that.
Of course, he's like the youngest. He's the oldest
youngest. Yeah, he's the oldest youngest. Yeah,
he's the experienced youngest one.
Experience. Yes, there you go.
That's the word.
But yeah, and like we said as well, like that also might include a lot with Doctor Strange and Wanda's thing, where they pretty much come together and make, what is it, the
Multiverse
of Madness. So I mean, if we're talking multiverses, then yeah, definitely crazy things can happen. I mean, zombie Black Widow.
Wait till the What If movie.
I know the What If series.
You're gonna see zombie Cap.
Some crazy shit.
Yeah, it's weird. What if Hawkeye sacrificed himself instead of Black Widow? How different that ending would have been.
Stuff like that. I know for sure one of them is like you know how in Guardians of the Galaxy for Star-Lord, how they came down to Earth and Ego took him. Instead, that's T'Challa. He takes T'Challa instead.
Oh, that would have been good.
That's a huge one.
So T'Challa is basically Star-Lord. And I know one of them too is instead of Steve Rogers taking the serum, Peggy Carter
takes it.
And also, which I'm curious to see that one, because in that series, Tony Stark's dad makes the first Iron Man suit, like the first Ironmonger suit.
Yeah.
So, and he gives it to Steve Rogers. So technically, Steve Rogers is still like a character in the MCU there, which is I find pretty interesting.
Yeah, that the What If series is definitely something I'm gonna like get into, because it's just like I love seeing like the different like versions of like what could have happened. Well, not just because like I'm such an overthinker myself already, but seeing it like play out would definitely be something cool to watch.
Yeah, seriously. I agree on that.
And I mean, from that, I mean, we just have like a whole line of movies that are like coming out besides Shang Tsung and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I mean, the Eternals we talked about a couple episodes back between me and Leche. New ones that we haven't even touched. I mean, first of all, Loki, like seeing it's almost going to be like a Maleficent type of movie, probably like Loki's background.
Oh, Loki's the
no. I feel like that show.
Is it a show?
Yeah, it's a show.
Loki's a show.
That show is going to be about time but about time travel and time manipulation and all.
Yeah, him going back in time.
I feel like that's where they're gonna introduce King the Conqueror.
Yeah, I feel like that he's gonna lead.
He's the main villain for Ant-Man 3. To King the Conqueror.
That'd be cool to like.
And also, that's where they're gonna introduce the Fantastic Four.
They're gonna tease them in that show.
They're gonna tease them. That's my guess.
Another Fantastic Four.
No, but this time,
this one's gonna be good,
bro.
I feel like it's gonna be good,
just like we said, another Spider-Man. This one's actually good. This one's gonna be good.
Yeah, because this their main Marvel branch.
I'm praying that we're gonna get Reed Richards at John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
Yo, seriously,
that would be so good.
Him and his wife, yeah.
Oh,
it would be perfect.
That'd be
and
so
then like
good.
Chris Evans as the Human Torch again.
That would
bring
be
him back.
Complaining.
Yeah, bring him back again.
And then besides the Fantastic Four, which we just hit on, we also have Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, we have a lot, Tito.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot. Hawkeye, Blade, the other Captain Marvel, the Wasp, Escape, or the Microverse. Ooh. I mean, there's a lot.
I think they changed it to Quantum Mania or something like that.
Did it?
Yeah, they changed the title to that. Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantum Mania.
Okay. I mean, well, a lot of these titles are still getting changed because if you just like
that
look it up,
Blade movie is gonna be interesting though.
I think it's gonna be a show.
Blade, do you think it's gonna be a show?
No, I think they were saying movie when they last announced his.
I know Blade's gonna be a movie for sure. I feel like.
Okay, yeah, I was checking things out right now on the Marvel Instagram. These are the last straight for like Phase 5 that they introduced. So we have Captain Marvel 2. We have the Hawkeye show 2 coming out. We also have She-Hulk, which is going to be, I believe it's a show.
It is a show, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a series. And then Moon Knight, which I'm very excited about that.
Moon Knight's going to go into like Egyptian fucking like background and stuff. That's gonna
and it's I'm just trying to see, especially because like Marvel has been killing it with like character development and all. This character, he has
a crazy history.
No, I forgot what the disorder he has. Multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
So imagine it's gonna be like he's more of a vigilante. So imagine like a vigilante with like that kind of disorder. It's gonna be kind of cool.
I mean, I think there is one, but not so like well known in the universe. You got me?
Yeah, but I mean, like we're talking about like MCU at least. In the MCU, there isn't any characters like that, and just the way Marvel has been dealing with like their character development, I think they're just gonna kill it with that show.
True.
Yeah.
And something that we are probably already seeing in the MCU, we're probably gonna be seeing little teasers in every show, every movie we see is gonna lead up to like the next big like Avengers movie.
Oh yeah.
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasions, dude. The Scrolls,
and
bro.
basically one of the like the last episode of WandaVision, there's like a cutscene that basically confirms that they're gonna start working their way towards that.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen in my opinion. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy, dude. Because a lot of characters die in the actual comic book series.
A lot of
them die.
A lot of like well-known characters die.
So who knows what's gonna actually happen on the MCU version of this? So,
I know. Because again, they like as much as they stick with the actual like comic book references, they do make their changes obviously as they've done before. But I mean, if they stick to something that dark, that'd be a change for once. Because I feel like they have dark moments in the MCU movies, but I don't feel like they've been like super dark like that where we see like that many type of deaths.
Exactly. I think the turning point of that is gonna be that Doctor.
Yep, I was about to say that Doctor Strange.
That's gonna be the turning point on like, oh shit, like the MCU is trying to get.
There's a lot coming in the MCU because this
that are really dark. Like it's gonna get really dark.
Last episode, how I was telling you guys how Christian Bale was gonna be. Like he's like confirmed to be in the next Thor movie as like the villain. So he's confirmed to play Gore the God Butcher. I don't know if you guys know any information about him.
Yeah,
so he holds a sword called the Necro Sword, or they call it the All Black. Some in the comic books, the All Black sword.
Why gotta be black?
Because it's
just literally black.
It's like, but so the sword is known to kill any like
god,
any divine creature, so any god basically. So you could already see how that's gonna turn out in Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't know if you guys know any background about the Necro Sword itself in general.
I do.
Like who made it?
I do myself.
Yeah, it was I forgot his name already. But he's a symbiote, the king of symbiotes.
Yeah.
I forgot his
name. It begins with S, I believe his name. Something.
I forgot, but
Scroll.
Null. There you go.
go.
It's Null. Yeah, Null. King of symbiotes. Yeah. So he's basically the king of all symbiotes, bro. Like he's like the ruler of all of them. Like he's a crazy, like in the comics. There's a comic right now that it's still like being released to like as we speak, probably. They're still releasing things where he's literally conquering the world. Like he conquers the earth. Like all the universe.
King in Black, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? I've been watching YouTubes of people reading the comics, and it sounds incredible. Which, if they wanted to, they one day could, like in the like heavy future we're talking about, lead up to that. Because it's crazy. Because he kills Thor.
I doubt which is that crazy. They'll go into that deep. I feel like in Love and Thunder, it's gonna be. Yeah, I feel like Thor's gonna die.
No, I don't feel like Thor dies. I feel like
I think he dies, but comes back in the movie. Like he does get killed, but then you know how his hammer, Mjolnir, is gonna still be there. I feel like that's when Jane comes out and she becomes the new Thor for a moment to seek revenge. I feel like it's gonna be some plot like that.
No, I feel like kind of a similar plot, but I feel like the plot's gonna be you know how in Endgame we all heard like that was his old flame and everything. He's always loved Jane. You get me? He's always had that love for her.
Yeah.
So in the comic books, she ends up having cancer that's gonna kill her. So what he does is he gives her Mjolnir, which when she turns into like Thor, you can say, that goes away. Like all that cancer, like her having cancer and dying to it goes away. Unless like when she turns back to it, she still has cancer. You get me? So she has like a little getaway from not dying there. So I feel like they're gonna go from like that, and people are gonna be saying like, how is there gonna be two gods? You get me? And I feel like that's where we're gonna see kind of like Gore the God Butcher, who's someone who doesn't believe in gods or something like that. Some premise like that. I don't know if you guys another show called The 100. It like dives into that about like gods and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm
and
watching that right now.
Oh, it's really good, Tito.
It's so good.
Finally got into it.
Yeah, it's so good. In less than a week, I went through a season and a half.
Bro, I'm already watching it the third time over.
Really? Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm about to finish it.
You and my younger sister watched it like one whole time together, almost.
Yep, it's really good.
But back to that, I think. So as of now, do you think Thor still has both hammers? He has Stormbreaker and the hammer?
No, he only has Stormbreaker because we all saw Captain America bring back.
Oh, he went to put it back.
Went. Yeah. So honestly, I'm very curious to see how they bring back Mjolnir.
I don't think they bring it back. I don't think they do.
But I mean, how else is she gonna? Because the rumor is that she turns into Thor, bro. But that's the thing. Stormbreaker doesn't have that enchantment that you have the powers of Thor like Mjolnir does. Remember that.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting how they implement that for sure now thinking about it.
Stormbreaker is just a regular hammer. That's why like pretty much anybody could wield it. Whoever's like strong enough.
Worthy
not like
enough.
No. It's not worthiness for Stormbreaker. It's just whoever has the strength to wield it.
Oh, Stormbreaker. I thought we were still on Mjolnir. Sorry.
Yeah, Mjolnir is whoever has whoever's worthy of it.
Yeah.
That's why I love the MCU. I don't know if you guys noticed the little details. Facts. And like little details too. Like when Thanos is fighting Captain America with when he has Mjolnir, he uses like instead of him trying to grab the hammer, he grabs Captain America's arm to like manipulate him moving the hammer. You get me? Since he himself isn't worthy to hold or move the hammer, he's moving his arm to move the hammer, basically.
Yeah, he's just,
which is so smart. Like it's crazy. Like
he's like, fuck. I mean, that's why he was a formidable opponent.
Yeah,
because for that reason.
It wasn't just he was just brute strength and force, because we all saw like Hulk could have probably been that's why
he was a great general. Like,
that's why he like beat the shit out of the Hulk. Because the Hulk the Hulk is just brute force.
He knew when to step in and step back. Like,
the real question is, when is the Hulk getting a standalone movie?
Ooh, that's not happening. Legal issues and all.
That's true.
It would be nice to see Mark Ruffalo as like one.
We're gonna see him a lot in She-Hulk, so
yeah.
Because she, the way She-Hulk gets her powers is that in the comics she gets like into a car accident.
And blood transfusion.
The only person that she could do a blood transfusion with Bruce Banner, and she ends up becoming. And she's a lawyer, so we might see her in freaking.
Her show is not going to be like, it's not going to be like all crazy. It's probably going to be like a crime drama type of show,
probably.
Which is pretty cool, like we don't have that in the MCU.
Well, honestly, we can't really give like any details right now about She-Hulk because that's Phase 5, bro. You get me? We're not even done with Phase 4. We're not even. Like, we don't even know how that's gonna be set up already or anything at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, the two movies the two concepts I'm looking forward to in Phase 5 at least has to be Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, I think it's called. Which that movie is gonna be crazy. I could already tell. And they're obviously gonna introduce the first family in the MCU in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I think that's the biggest one. Like I want to see. Oh yes,
because I want to see them actually do justice. Like
seriously, bro. Like yo, give us Galactus, bro.
Fuck. No. Not even that, bro. The one character looking so much forward to because of the Fantastic Four is Doom himself. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That character.
You want him to do justice to that character. He's the biggest, one of the biggest villains in the fucking entire MCU.
That no one's brought justice to. Like no one's done.
Like, not only is he intelligent, he has like a coat of armor, and not only that, he also is he has like mystical powers too. He's a very good sorcerer.
It's
like that up the par of the Sorcerer Supreme. Like it's insane.
All right. Well, before we keep moving forward, let's just take a small break and reconvene.
Sounds good.
And we're back. And I mean, you guys, mostly Esvin, really seems to be wanting to go into like the whole WandaVision type of thing. Like I said, I haven't watched it, so I'm going to let you guys take the reins on that. Esvin, you could become our partial host this week and just take the conversation, bro. Like,
all right. I was just very curious. I know, Tito, you haven't watched it, so just jump in when you can, and we'll ask you about your opinions too and how you feel about things.
Oh, I'm the guest now.
Yeah. Welcome to my show, guys. The WandaVision show.
The WandaVision show.
But I was just curious to see where do you guys think it's leading up to. Like, I know it's leading up to like Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness and all, but like, what else?
What's going to be the concept towards that? I know we talked about this yesterday, Esvin, but I think we had a good conversation on that ending piece. Pretty much how we saw Wanda being in the bubble, that red bubble, with her new suit on, but yet in the same time, on the outside, she was literally outside in the like secluded on this, pretty much out in the wilderness in a little shed.
Kind of reminds me like in the Incredible Hulk movie at the end when he tries to go away. It kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah,
he tries to like set himself away from like society. Yeah, just by herself. So,
but it's just that sin in her. What is it called? That that look in her face,
sinister look.
In the end, kind of gave me the idea that she's still not mentally stable, like 100% on how we think she is, So I don't know. What's your idea on that? Like, where do you think she would go with that?
I have like multiple theories on like what she's actually doing, or like what's actually might happen. So I think what she's actually doing there is, well, two things she's gonna actually possibly doing that I think. So we saw how in Doctor Strange, the original movies, how he was able to basically take his soul out of his body, and I forgot what it's called. Leche.
Astral form.
The astral form. There you go. He was able to project his astral form and able to study on his own and shit, like on his own time and all, without actually being in his body. So I have a theory where Wanda's actually doing that. Like the Scarlet Witch in her is actually studying the Darkhold, which we found out that's the book that she's holding, is the Darkhold, which in itself is so much that could happen because of just that book itself and what she's learning in it. So I think she found out a way how to project her astral form while still being while her body still basically controlling both. She could do both. You saw how she was out on the porch like drinking coffee. So she's able to do that, but her astral form's like outside studying and shit, and nobody could actually see that. You get me?
Yeah.
See, I don't, because Agatha did say herself that her powers do like they're more than her. No, yeah, and they're more than that of the Sorcerer Supreme. So she's more powerful. Yeah, there you go. That's the word. Exceed that of the Sorcerer Supreme. So therefore, she's stronger than Doctor Strange. Yeah. So being able to do that seems like a possibility for her, because Doctor Strange can't do that. Like like if he goes to his astral form, his body's just left like dead. You can say.
Well, that might also go into the whole Doctor Strange and the Wanda series that's coming out. It could just be them learning from each other. You get me?
That's what I was going to lead into.
Because
maybe,
sorry,
most likely not off the bat. Like start off like
no, obviously not. Like Doctor Strange is eventually going to have to find her first of all if she's in a secluded area. But it's mostly like because she, again, I don't know. Is she aware that she's doing both?
At this point,
it looks like it.
It looks like
imagine she set herself up to go by herself. She isolated herself. She has that book, knowing that she has to study that book, or she wants to study that book. And like that scene, Tito, you see her in her front yard, like it's like a little house, bro. It's like a little cabin, you could say. And you see her like it like zooms into like the house, and she's outside in the porch drinking her tea. And then it zooms into the house, and in the back of the house, it's her again, and she's like literally like she has like the red aura around her. She's wearing her suit, and she's studying from a book from the Darkhold. That's how it ends, like that cutscene.
Yeah, my prediction on that.
Go. No.
I was gonna say my prediction on that was saying like she's probably studying just like Doctor Strange is right now, literally learning spells and stuff like that, just like Doctor Strange is exactly like that.
Remember, she really doesn't know any spells. She
exactly.
Doesn't
so
even
right
know
now she's learning everything from that book right now.
What everybody assumed and everybody thought her powers were kind of similar to Captain Marvel's, when they're not at all. We know that at all. She had powers before she came in interaction with the Mind Stone. She was always been the Scarlet Witch. She's always been the Scarlet Witch. So.
Yeah.
She just hasn't unlocked her full potential. Actually speaking.
Which is
until this show.
Yeah. But like I'm also saying, so I don't know if you guys know much of like actual astral projection, like the real life version or whatever. I mean, it's almost the same thing, but obviously person is sleeping, and in their sleep, like they could technically their spirit travels or whatever.
A lot of people compare it. I've heard of that actually. A lot of people compare it to like sleep paralysis,
astral projection. That's what it's pretty much called. But in that state, your body is technically weak. Like you are not protected. So during that time, you could technically get influenced by any bad spirits or bad energy in the area. Exactly, or other entities. So if Wanda might be doing these types of things, but she might not be aware that she is.
Yes, so, Tito, you're leading. You haven't watched it and you're leading. Right there.
Tito, literally, you're on the fucking nose, bro.
Yeah, so that's why, like,
I'm gonna confirm something for you right now for you. So you know Agatha, she's like the
main villain,
the main villain in the show.
Okay.
If you watch, she's the main villain. So she's the one that originally has that book, the Darkhold book, and so she's not really like you could say like a villain. So she was just like a regular. I don't want to say regular because there's no regular witches out there, but she's one of the witches that was put to trial on like the Salem witch trials.
Back in the 1600s and shit.
Yeah, back in the 1600s. So she was that witch that basically. Tito do it. He's like,
what happened? Sorry, it's because Keiko wants to say Tito. Hi real quick.
I like eggs.
Oh. Come say hi. They're on the camera.
What's up? Oh, that's me!
Hey, Cassandra.
Segue, Esvin.
Oh, so like I was saying,
Tito. This goes out to my ladies.
I'm leaving this in. I hope you know that.
Wait, what is this?
I'm recording.
You're gonna be on YouTube.
Oh no!
You're gonna be on YouTube.
You'll be on YouTube, famous.
YouTube's. I'm sorry. What were you guys saying?
No, what I was trying to say, Tito, what you were saying was like it's true. It's basically leading all up to that because Agatha, she's one of those witches from like the Salem witch trials. So they confirmed that she's more than like 200 years old then.
Yeah.
So she has a lot of knowledge of witchcraft and on sorcery, you could say. And in the show, when she's fighting Wanda ended up taking the book from her and like basically beats her, and she says like Agatha tells her like you have no idea what you're unleashing.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Like she literally doesn't know what's going on, like what she's doing. And that's the point like we're trying to see, because she's probably going to be the main villain. Wanda's probably going to be the villain,
or one of the villains,
or one of them.
Oh no! What,
she's going to be a villain. They're under the influence of another villain. Yes, I feel like that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, because like how you guys said, at the end of it, no one's sure if she's sane or not. So that could possibly be obviously foreshadowing that the dark influence from the book is taking effect already, which is why I think like with Doctor Strange, since he is aware that he is doing that and knows how to pretty much protect his body when he's in the astral plane world, whatever, that's why he needs to get to Wanda to show her and start healing her from inside out in a way.
I get you. So I have a question for you guys now. Who do you think the main bad's gonna be in the movie? Because I think they pretty much summed it up to 3 options, and I feel like they're gonna do like a combination of like 2 of them or something. Yeah. So the 3 options they threw at us were Nightmare, the character Nightmare. Also, the representation of the devil in the MCU, Mephisto.
Yeah.
And who I'm starting to believe more who it's gonna be, and I know I'm butchering the name because I've heard his name pronounced many different ways. I think it's pronounced Chthon. Yeah. So, and the only reason I think that, and they basically introduced him in the MCU already. Like he's for sure in the MCU. Because they introduced the book that he created himself, the Darkhold, which is the book that Wanda's using to read. So what I eventually think is gonna happen, I think Wanda's accidentally gonna like summon him. Because what happened, well, in the comics, what happened to him back in like his days, that a lot of sorcerers saw out like he had a lot of power and all, right? So they ended up like banishing him from Earth, and like I totally forgot like where they sent him, but he just basically wasn't able to reach back to Earth. So exactly. I have a feeling that's what Agatha told her, that you have no idea what you're doing. You get me? So I feel like she's gonna probably accidentally bring Chthon back to Earth, you can say, and that's what the.
On top of that, as going back to like what Tito said, you know how like she's doing her actual like her projection form and stuff like that. Maybe when she's out of her body, that guy Chthon might see that as an opportunity to go inside her body and influence her. Right? Maybe I'm just saying. And
yeah, but it could be a little bit
too. It could be him and Mephisto, or Mephisto and Nightmare, and Nightmare takes, Wanda's actual projection body and then Mephisto takes over her actual physical body. You know, there's so much potential coming up.
There's so much.
It could be.
I doubt they do that because I doubt they introduce two big characters like that.
I doubt it too, but you know, who knows? I rather not leave it in the dark either as a question on that. And but on top of that, the real interesting question that I feel like we missed out a little bit is, what do they mean the universe of madness, dude? There might multiverse of madness. There's going to be universe manipulation powers going on here.
Oh, 100%.
Reality's getting bent over and shit.
I mean, the only person who has that ability is really Wanda, so it's gonna be someone influencing Wanda, kind of basically what we saw already in WandaVision.
Mm-hmm. No, of course, yeah, but I want to. It's gonna be in a planetary, you know, scale. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be. I
feel like she's gonna end up doing the same thing she did in WandaVision, but instead of doing just the town, she's gonna make a whole separate universe for herself.
A pocket universe, literally.
I mean, and this is where in the comic books, in the House of M comics, right? There's this big thing where her big goal in that movie is that she hates mutants. She hates the idea of mutants. And at the end of the comics, the famous line she literally says is "no more mutants," and makes a universe where there's no mutants at all. Yeah, like no superheroes, no nothing. So I have a feeling this is where they could take an opportunity and introduce the mutants. You get me? I mean, they kind of did that already because the first confirmed mutant is Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, they literally showed
which we still don't know. We still don't know who she is specifically because there's two characters in the comics that she plays, two superheroes, and they have different powers. One of them is called, I think it's Spectrum. Is it Spectrum?
Spectrum, yeah.
And then I forgot the other one.
This one looks like the Spectrum, though.
Yeah.
From the comics.
She had the same abilities
so far in the show. Like showing the abilities that she had so far, it looked like Spectrum. So.
I mean, it's hard to tell because from what I'm seeing, like I'm just looking at images and like quick notes on the show. It could also be a combination of Nightmare and Mephisto. You get me? It could, my assumption, because I love doing these. Mm-hmm. It starts off with with Nightmare trying to get Wanda to like do all these crazy things and unleash whatever dark power from the book or whatever, which ends up turning to be Mephisto. And I guess the weird control thing, like, I released you, I'm in charge, or it's like, I'm too strong for you, you can't be in charge of me. Then it's Mephisto and Nightmare fighting over Wanda, and then Wanda creating these multiple dark universes.
I feel like at the end of the day, the plot is the big person, whoever it is, the big bad, is trying to manipulate Wanda because she's like
100%.
Exactly.
Because we also have to remember that she's also a Nexus being. So that means the version of her
isn't going to be the real her.
No. Her version lives like, you know how like in every universe we're all a little different. Like our version is a little different. Mm-hmm. Not like hers. She lives exactly the same way in every universe. She's always going to be.
She's the only character that is like.
Yeah, not the only, but only confirmed one right now.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Because there's possibilities they're going to introduce the Reed family, and then their son, Franklin Richards, is also a Nexus being.
Freaking bro, that's like level powers, bro.
That's for another story and another podcast.
Talking about power, bro.
He's probably, and it's crazy because they introduced Agatha Harkness, who they hired to take care of him.
Yeah,
you get me. So it's
babysitter.
She's not really a bad character, you can say. She was what she was doing in So in WandaVision, we saw that she was just living her life until she felt that like powerful source, like mad spells happening at the same time, which was Wanda doing her thing. And she was like, she just wanted the same power as Wanda, which who wouldn't? You could say, like, if you're a sorcerer and you saw someone pulling off shit, you couldn't.
Yeah, you'd be like, how did you do it? She just wanted to know. Like,
yeah, especially that Agatha has that power to drain other people's powers too. You get me? So why wouldn't she take that opportunity? Obviously, we see her.
She got screwed over because she took in too much and whatever, and it backfired on her.
No, that's not what happened.
I saw that she drained most of it, and then
what happened was you remember when the episode when Wanda first walks into her lair and how she had those spells?
Oh, the runes, right?
The runes, yeah. So Wanda put runes on the whole city instead, so she can't use her powers inside. So she basically like played a trick on Agatha, made her believe that Agatha was taking her powers when she really wasn't doing anything, because she can't use her powers when she's in the ruins. Tito,
right?
It's kind of like casting a spell in a room and then like, oh, no one else could use their powers. Only the person that casts that spell could use their powers in the room.
So she learned from that shit.
Yeah, she learned from that and like used the whole rune in like the city that she in, like basically like the igloo.
She was literally playing with freaking Agatha at that point.
Yeah, she was like teasing her. She like made her think she won and shit.
That's kind of cruel if you think about it.
Yeah, that she says it too. She says it at the end. Agatha calls her cruel. She's like, "You're cruel."
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, bro. Or it could be all the way around entirely, dude. And no one is influencing her, and it's literally just her being bad. Like she's just mentally unstable completely, and just doesn't know right from wrong at that point. She just loses her shit.
Since even before Phase 3, Leche, when they confirmed Doctor Strange was having a second.
Oh, there was you could tell there's gonna be other forms.
They've always confirmed that Nightmare was gonna be the villain. So that's why I have big speculations of it being Nightmare.
Yeah, I have high hopes for that too, dude. Trust me. We shall see, dude.
They probably could make a combination of Mephisto and Nightmare. Because, I mean, Mephisto's technically the devil, and I mean, that's nightmarish itself already, the devil.
Yeah.
I also heard Chthon, Cthulhu, the worst one. Cthulhu. You think it's Cthulhu, Tito?
Is that weird squid monster thing
in the ocean?
What squid monster thing? The thing with like one eye and big tentacles?
Yes.
No, like that. I forgot his name. It's like starts with a G.
Shumagorath.
Shumagora. There you go. Shumagora.
Dude,
that would be another insane character.
As if you were talking about,
I was telling you that the other day too.
As he was like, oh shit, dude, it would be nuts if it was.
I hope it's Shumagorath, man.
Bro.
It looks so cool.
You remember on the PS2 we used to have Marvelverse Capcom and we could play him? I remember
he was the fucking that's like the run, dude. He was so fucking dope.
Oh yeah.
He was the strongest one.
There's so many ways that they could go with what enemies it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Dormammu coming back too, because Doctor Strange doesn't have the Time Stone.
We never even reached into fucking Doctor Strange and how much more powerful he probably got.
Yeah, facts. We only really talked about Wanda and like her influence.
But who knows what Doctor Strange is going to be pulling out of his hat, dude? Mm-hmm. Who knows? And the real question is, does freaking what's his name? Fuck. Damn it. What's his name? Oh, no. His friend. As in, you know who I'm talking about, the Asian guy.
Oh,
the library guy?
Oh, the Asian, the library guy.
Fuck.
What's his name?
You remember?
No.
I don't want to be messed up and mispronounce it.
You're looking it up?
Yeah. Fuck, I forgot.
I forgot it.
Oh no!
It's like at the tip of my tongue too.
Yeah.
What is it?
I can't think of. No, it's.
Just look up Doctor Strange cast. And you'll be able to see it.
Wong.
There you go.
I love that. Just Wong.
Oh, want to know
his last name is Wong too.
Want to know something else? His last name forgot. Wong. If you wanted to bring Doctor Strange into like the talk, Doctor Strange. Y'all watched it? Of course, Tito. You have to watch it. Okay, y'all watched the cutscenes at the end.
Esvin, I think before even all that, I think you know who might be like a little mini villain before all the
that's what I'm getting to.
Oh, sorry, go for it. I know that's where you're going. I just saw it too. I just saw him. Yeah, I know who you're talking
That's
about.
What I'm saying. Y'all remember Baron Mordo was taking like people's powers and shit?
Yeah.
At the end of Doctor Strange, so I feel like he's gonna be like a little villain, like a Loki type villain in that movie.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's what it's gonna go into.
Ooh, I mean, because at that point we could, if it's a collab from like Doctor Strange and Wanda, we're only concentrating on Wanda. Yeah, how many enemies could possibly come from Doctor Strange's side? You get me? Because he has to have his own enemies, obviously, which we've seen. But yeah, I mean, or it could just be a collaboration of two evils from both sides.
It could be Mordor. What's his name?
Baron Mordo.
Mordo, yeah. And with someone else, maybe he's like, oh, I agree with.
Oh, yeah, because remember, he's. Oh my God, I just realized. I just had an epiphany.
Esvin's about to go in right now. Yo, this is literally Esvin's brain just blew up right now.
Remember, they're all sorcerers and witches and shit like that. Technically speaking, Agatha kind of had the same powers as Baron Mordo, was able to take other people's powers.
Right.
Keep that in mind. I don't know where that could be, but keep that in mind.
With this, yo.
You get me? We already saw that. It's kind of crazy because like he did the same thing that she does. Because like the same movement. Because she goes like this, like it's kind of weird. Like they go like that, and when he does it in the thing, he goes like that too. Like it's kind of like.
Damn, it's just Marvel, bro. They just every time, dude. They just do that shit.
Finally
find yourself an Esvin who would tell you all the details, man.
Yo, I want to find someone as Esvin is passionate about talking about Marvel,
and literally just put them in a room and have them talk.
I want to find someone.
We need to find someone else so we can all just talk. Oh, you know what would be interesting to have in the podcast too, but it would probably be like hard to get him. Ugo.
Oh yeah, Ugo,
bro, he talks so much.
Shit.
Yeah, he's been posting a lot too on this thing.
Hero fan.
He's mad excited about like the new Mortal Kombat movie. That's the podcast idea there too. Watch that movie.
Yeah, we spoke about it a little bit.
Yeah, we kind of like reacted to the
trailers.
Trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember hearing.
We were going in. We were fangirling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ugo was too. Trust me, on his Instagram.
I
know you would, dude. That's his shit. Dude. That's his type of shit.
Y'all did it with Andre too, right?
Yeah, we did that episode with Andre.
I remember. Because I sent you a pic and I was like, "Yo, the reptiles in it too and shit."
Right. So we're calling it, boys.
Yeah, dude, that was a long discussion. We said it was gonna be quick. We literally spoke for like a good.
Yeah, let's just talk a little bit more about WandaVision, guys. And another 30 minutes
for 25 minutes.
Right. So what I learned is I need to watch the show.
I definitely recommend you.
Tito, you didn't watch the show and you still like contributed.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Now imagine if you watched the show.
I know.
So you're gonna go in even more than I did on this.
We do another podcast towards the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So
that's what I was gonna say. Like once that
Tito
season ends, we should make another episode and follow up. Because you got to be part of that one. You're coming back.
Oh, I was gonna say do it the same week that Loki comes out, so we could talk about the first episode of Loki too.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
So we could kind of like start off like where we left off of WandaVision. Tito could talk about it too. That could be really quickly, like a good 10 to 15 minute talk.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could talk about like obviously Falcon Winter Soldier. And then towards the end we just bring up Loki. Bam.
Yeah.
I should be y'all manager. No, I'm just kidding.
You barely answer text messages when I text you originally.
Yo, facts.
Not to manage a whole thing. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm the one supposed to be texting y'all. So
no.
I'm your manager.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
I manage you at this point.
I'm your momager.
I'm your momager. My mom's his manager.
Right. And on that note, thanks for listening to Take a Sip podcast. You could follow me at One Alpha Penguin on Instagram and Twitter. Esvin, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram, Esvin AM, and fuck it, why not? Y'all could also watch me stream on Twitch, Pat's Freak 407.
Hell yeah, dude.
And Leche, what about you?
People can find me at Instagram at Leche Minuesa, or you guys can follow my Twitch at Techno Freak 95.
And as always, like, subscribe, and follow the podcast at TakeASip_pod on Instagram and Twitter. And subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/takeasip. And like always, drink some water, stay healthy, go for a walk. Bring some fresh
Go
air.
rollerblading, guys. It's nice out.
Yeah, it's been
Bring rollerblades back. Bring rollerblades.
Yeah, I bought
back.
Tito. I bought some.
Did you?
Yeah,
he was so excited about them, dude.
I bet.
it's been like a month. I'm ready to go break my leg.
And again,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.